Hello, and thanks for watching this instructional on how to bake sub-rolls in your kitchen. To produce these rolls, you'll need roll dough, sheet pans, parchment paper, and pan spray. If you're following a recipe that calls for topicals, herbs, seeds, or other ingredients applied to the crown of the roll, you'll need those too. The roll dough we're using is Rich's 11782 51% whole grain mini sub-roll dough, 2.4 ounce. We'll start by placing frozen dough on parchment-lined sheet pans, first having sprayed parchment lightly with pan spray. We're placing the dough in a staggered pattern, first 2 pieces of dough lengthwise, then 3. We'll make a total of 6 rows, so there's 15 doughs on each pan. This way the doughs will not touch each other as they rise. We'll lightly spray the top of the dough with pan spray so it doesn't stick to the wrap when we wrap it up. Next, you'll wrap the dough. You should cater wrap the dough. That is, pull a length of plastic out that's longer than the width of the pan and place one end of the pan on the plastic, leaving a little plastic overhanging the sides and ends. Trim the plastic and fold it over, sealing at the ends and side. Pull a second length of plastic and seal the other end of the pan the same way, making sure there's plenty of overlap in the middle. This method helps assure that air can't get into the pan and dry out the dough, where just covering the top would likely result in air leaks and dry dough. The dough should now be refrigerated overnight to thaw and begin to rise. You can place pans of dough onto a speed rack and then simply roll it into a walk-in refrigerator. The next day, remove the dough from the refrigerator. Unwrap the dough, and then, one at a time, remove dough pieces from the pan and gently pull on them until they're 6 inches in length. Then place them back on the pan. Be sure as you pull the dough to set it down very straight and even so that the rolls bake in a straight line and so they don't rise and touch each other. If the dough is to be garnished with a topical, you can apply it now. Spray the dough lightly with pan spray and apply the topical evenly. Follow your recipe for the flavor and amount of topical that the recipe requires. Once the topical is applied, you then need to proof the dough. The recommended method for sub-rolls is in a proofing box. Your proofing box should be set at 95 degrees and 85% humidity for 40 to 50 minutes. To determine if dough is fully risen, one way is to gently poke it. The dough will yield and leave a soft dent. Fully risen sub-dough should be slightly more than double in size. As you see here, the original frozen dough is less than half its size. We want the dough to overproof. Also, printed on the case that the dough was shipped in is a template you can cut out and use that to gap over the dough and see that it is the correct diameter, as you see here. When the dough is fully risen, bake it in a 325-degree convection oven for 13 to 15 minutes or until golden brown. Once it's baked, transfer the pans to a rack to cool to room temperature before slicing. Finished rolls will be well bloomed and golden brown on the crown. There are 2 different slicing styles depending on the sandwich recipe. Use a serrated slicer and wear a cut-resistant glove. For a side slice, flatten your hand and gently hold the roll without squashing it and slice using a sawing motion parallel to the cutting board. For a top slice, place the knife blade on top of the crown of the roll, grasp over the blade, and slice downward with a long sawing motion to not crush the roll. Your finished rolls should look just like this. And thanks for watching this tutorial.